Greetings, my people. It is Monday. Pretty sure it's May. Are we in June now? No, it's still May. Jesus. Wow, I'm tired. Sorry, it's early. It's Monday, May 22nd. And you can see down here at the ped card, I've got 836.76 ped. That's after I just sold ores and end matters to Aklia last night for my markup. So after the first series of mining for markup on the videos, we are actually down about, you know, 64 ped. But you also have to realize I have to repair the tools every time too. It's not just straight up loss of like no resources found kind of stuff. Because if you look, oh, well, not that tool. But yeah, the gear, oh, and the healing thing. I was healing somebody. Sorry. But yeah, 4.82 decay on the finders and whatnot. That's probably from 2 runs there. But it's about 2 peds. About 2.5 peds to do a mining run, 120 peds unamped here on Arcadia, triple clicking. So, you know, I did a good amount of runs, and that also took away some decay off that, I guess. And I got skills. Uh, what else? I think I kept the growth molecules. Oh yeah, that's right. So there's actually 8 peds, another 8 peds to add on there. So in fact, we will loan ourselves 8 peds from Khorum Coast, since that's what's going to use that resource. And then we'll add that onto our mining for markup thing and then toss that in there, keep it separated. All right. And there's other stuff too, y'all. Let's go over the fruit and the stones that we found on that also. But yeah, so what, we lost like 40 ped? That's not bad. I did a lot of mining. I maybe didn't make all the videos about it, and I don't know how many I'll put out. I recorded most of it, but I don't know. It's a lot of editing just to like put them out there. I may get around to it, but there'll be like there'll be mining dates in the past. I'll make sure they're dated appropriately when they happened, kind of thing. But so in our storage, I also kept all the fruit, dung, and stones that we found. I had that over there because I was trying to sell resources. So we got 176 dung, 132 karut, 106 brookite, 160 nisset, 52 haymoros. Oh, and I kept the peril pellets because that's a rarish treasure too. So we're actually only down like 33 peds. Cool. We got 1,250 paplons, 307 Bombado, and Treasure Map 3. Oh, and I also guess I got 18 bottles of sweat goofing off during that. But, that's not bad. A little bit of loss, but we found other things, especially with like the price of fruit nowadays. And then I got those stones and whatnot. We're not losing terribly. And we're going to hit a global again here in a little bit to even it back up. But I just wanted to show y'all where we're at real quick. Sorry. Starting to get myself all tongue-tied talking to y'all this morning. I haven't quite had any coffee yet, and I'm just like, ooh. It's my day off today, so I actually slept in till 5 a.m. It was quite nice. Granted, I was still up at like 3 to say goodbye to the wife and feed the animals and all that when she went off to work around the time that I'm normally awake. And then I went back to bed for like an hour. It was great. So good. All right, well, we got ourselves 120 peds. Let's head on out here to the Khorum Coast, cause I do like to dig for markup over there, y'all. I've got a lot of nice stuff. If it's hitting, I can definitely find markup there with like the bismuth and the langots, or the wenrex, or my cave sap, or my sweet stuff. Especially now that sweet stuff is it's expensive. So hell yeah. Let's see. We do have everything set to go. 40 drops. Yep. Oh, well, I got 2 peta probes sitting there. That's fine. It'll just zero out as it is. All right. First drop, yeah, let's see what we get. And I guess I'll have me some coffee this morning and hopefully I don't make too much noise drinking it. I don't want y'all to feel like you're involved in the coffee drinking situation. And I apologize for my wife's cat there. I don't know what the hell he's talking about. There, I tried to take a drink of coffee quietly. Maybe I'll just turn the mic off when I have me a little sip and a smack there. Uh, but I believe we're going to global, and it's probably going to be this run here that will hit a global on and will even us out for our losses. So, yeah, I imagine after this run, when I drag whatever I find into the trade terminal and with what I got there on the ped card, that will be back up to breaking even. We shall see though, because I could be wrong. I mean, y'all know me, I'm generally more wrong than I'm right. Let's go south, out the old land this time. I think we did north the other day, so let's go travel around south. Nothing's really popping up yet. Oh well. Hope y'all are having yourselves a good morning. Not too bad here for me. I do have some exciting news, I guess. Uh, Earlier this, I don't know, I guess it was still spring. I had considered having to sell Khorum Coast. I was weighing my options because my wife and I got the feeling that where we're living eventually the clock was ticking, and we were like, well, maybe we should buy something, get like a small house or a condo or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, okay. And then, you know, I didn't sell the land. I kept it because someone made me an offer to possibly sell around July. And I was trying to weigh out my odds. And I was like, well, if I sold in July, then I could maybe pull the money out and it would be in my account by like September, maybe October. And I was like, all right, I could still, then we'll maybe buy something here in the area in Texas and put a down payment on it because that's kind of like my share of the money. Other than that, like my wife would be putting my share of the down payment on something too. And the other option was that I would just keep the land and then like pay her back if she did have to use her share of her money to pay mine, which would make me feel really shitty. But so shopping around for condos and all that, houses down here in the Austin, Texas region, and man, holy good God, it's expensive. I really don't want to live down here anyway. It's not my ideal spot to be, I guess I would say. Got ourselves a small heberite stone and a poor Laterian dust. All right. But yeah, it's not a bad area, I guess. I miss the outdoors, and over here there's just snakes and shit everywhere. Like got freaking rattlesnakes in my actual yard. And if I go further down my yard towards the pond where the driveway starts, there's freaking water moccasins, So I don't I don't really enjoy the outdoors here in Texas like I used to when I lived in Colorado, because at least we had a freeze over there. And like it would kill all the really poisonous or dangerous stuff for the most part. I guess we had snakes and there's rattlers too, if you went out into like the deserty canyon areas of Colorado, but not really up on the mountains where I used to camp and stuff, up on the Grand Mesa, which fun fact, y'all, is the largest flat top mesa in the world. We had like, I don't know, hundreds of lakes up there. I don't remember the count. I want to say it was like 300 lakes up on top of that mesa. And then, I mean, they're lakes, y'all. They're not like little ponds or they're lakes where you can camp around them, put a boat on the thing. Imagine how big that place is. So, used to camp there. Oh, crap. Ugh. I had a feeling that was gonna happen. And of course, it's gonna revive me at the estate. Ugh, dang it. No, I made it far enough to get to a terminal. cool. I love it. I'm not a fan of my house kicking me to the estate to revive. It drives me nuts. And yes, I know I'm a hoarder. I need to trim my storage. I realize that. But anyway, you know, I'm not really a fan of living over here, as I was saying, in Austinish kind of area. So kind of missing the outdoors and being able to go outside or go camping. Like I said, I haven't went camping, y'all, in freaking years. Like since I've been to Texas, it's been like 6 years now. I don't really feel the need. I miss it, but I'm not going to go and do that here, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong. I guess on the Mesa we had things too. We would have like mountain lions, which were the worst things, and then we had bears. And a lot of people think, oh no, bears, that's terrible. How did you survive? You had bears. Well, they were not that bad. The bears that I had to deal with and all that, we just didn't go camping in like cub season, or if we did, we were very loud. We didn't cook or anything like that. You don't leave, well, you don't really cook in bear country anyway in your campsite, leave traces of food, never do that. But you're extra cautious in like cub season, because that's the only time that the bears would actually be somewhat aggressive. Because other than that, and I can't tell you all guaranteed how your experience will be with bears. Okay, I'm not saying this is how it turns out for everybody, but for me, I mean, they weren't aggressive. Most of the times they were just kind of cowardly or curious. But if you made yourself like loud or like threatening and they were aware of you kind of situation, hey, let's fly over this so we lose that they would just, they weren't there to get you because they're more like an opportunistic or a scavenger kind of a hunter, unless I guess, they think they can probably win, maybe. I don't know. Could be depending on the bear. But most of the time I ever saw them, sometimes you'd even scare them and they were like running away through the bushes or whatever. And you'd see the back end of a bear as it's like leaving wherever you were at. But don't get me wrong, I got some redneck in me, y'all. We were always packing guns. We had some heat. We were making noise, we're shooting, we're loud. So animals really probably knew we were there and were down to party and they weren't sticking around. Like, not that, we would shoot innocent creatures, we had like cans and all that, but we had guns for defense too. Because, like I said, mountain lions were the one, man. Those ones, whew, I ain't messing with those. Yeah, because they're quiet, they're like stealthy, and then they can even be up in the trees and crap. Oh, dude, no. Those aren't fun. But we didn't have rattlesnakes. That wasn't terrible. I didn't have like the old thing I've heard down here where you could go camping at night and your fire's gonna draw some heat and snake or whatever is gonna come and try to curl up in your sleeping bag with you. Mm-mm. No, I ain't playing that game, y'all. Uncle Joker is not playing the old snake in the sleeping bag game. Let me tell you, not gonna happen. So that and like I've killed him in my freaking yard. Like I said, it's ridiculous. You can't go out here sometimes, and just think there's no freaking snake in your yard. But so I don't want to live down here, I guess, long story short. I realize I'm rambling, but screw it. Got to talk about something for commentary while we're mining together. And maybe like five of you was actually listening to my story. So my wife and I's down here looking at tiny houses and condos, and y'all, these places are like 1.5 million to like 2.5 million-ish ped, kind of rough estimate. And the 1.5 million one, oh, that place that was a one bedroom shithole that was falling apart and everything else. Ooh, mining strongbox. Nice. And a triple claim. We got a small colloidal extrusion, a very poor crude oil, and a poor Nixerium. Excellent. So, yeah, we went and looked around at a couple places, that were in our budget because we could probably afford like a 2 million ped mortgage right now, her and I. That's about what we were thinking of. Which, yeah, that's probably not a lot to some of y'all, but like, it's a struggle to get a down payment and eventually pay that shit off too. 2 million ped, son of a bitch. But working on that, went and looked at a couple places, and the first one, like 150K, like I said, was like yield cracked in. Basically, roof would like had some damage. I don't know if the person that was living in the condo above it, their bathtub had leaked or whatever, and then it had like ruined some of the ceiling of the one I was looking at. And then like it looks like years had gone by and no one cared to do anything about it, and it's just like falling apart. Oh, beans. I didn't realize we got close to a camel don. Man, this is embarrassing. My own creatures are just beating my, oh no. And we're not near the estate thing, but hey, we actually have our sleep near, so that's good. But yeah, we were doing the Nixarium. Great waypoint. And we looked at another one that wasn't so bad. It didn't have roof damage in it, I guess, but it was also kind of in like a rough neighborhood. And surprisingly, that was like one of the more expensive ones. It was like about 2 million peds there too. It had like an HOA little condominium thing with like a pool that y'all could share, I guess. Like all the other condos or tenants or apartments, I don't know, but it was in a fairly rough part of town around here. I mean, I don't really care what the neighbors do, as long as they leave me the hell alone. But you could just tell that there was going to be some shady dealing going on in that place, which is like whatever, you do your druggy shit to consensual adults over there and leave me out of it. I don't care, I'm 420 friendly. I just don't do the old drug thing. That's up to y'all. Like I said, consenting adults. But I just don't want to be dragged into that. And most of the time, when you live in a place like that, you just can't help but get part of that shit because they'll break into your house or something too. And then there was another one that we looked at, which wasn't bad. Actually, it was bigger and it had like a little tiny, a little tiny thing that maybe I could have converted into like just a place to take the dog out that's like 10 feet long so that she could pee. Like, how do I tell you how long that thing is? It was kind of like if someone had given me a backyard space that was like the size of a walk-in closet, right? Like just a little dink. You can come out there with the lawn chair and then maybe flip the legs up, and that would be your backyard space. Uh, but so we're looking at those, and I'm still not a fan of it. I'm like, man, it's gonna spend my life paying off one of these, at least a large chunk of my life. And she's thinking, no, we could just sell it if we want for extra money if it goes up or whatever, or we could try to lease it out and move on somewhere. I'm like, all right, great. As long as we're not getting stuck living into some sort of shithole. But bottom line is we got to move out of where we're at anyway, because we're out here on this like ranch land outside of a city, and we're currently renting from her aunt and uncle, and things are just starting to get weird because they're like turning into these fancy, richy lifestyle kind of people because they already sold some of the land that we live around us over here for, I want to say they got like 8 million peds for that. 8 or 9 million peds. Okay. So then all of a sudden they're like buying all these other like houses around here, and then they got, this fancy motorhome thing or whatever, and they're going down to like this beach house and they're staying down there off and on instead of like where they would stay here on this other property with us because there's like two houses here, and they had one on this like little acre or two, and then there's like all the back acreage around it that's split out from the houses. And they kind of lived here on the residential acreage, and then there's all the farming area around it with us. But then they started, going down to the beach house and like the camper and all that, and just weird. And then I told my wife too. I'm like, okay, they're gonna sell everything. We don't have a lot of time here, you know. So we need to figure out what we're gonna do. So that's why we first started looking around it was March. I was when I was like, hey, gonna have to figure it out because they're starting to just seem weird. They're not gonna want to be here anymore. You can tell they've got themselves a beach thing going on in like a couple places on the coast in like Texas now where they go and do like, I don't know, fancy RV like places. It's crazy, right? Whatever. So I told her like, we're not going to be able to rent here much longer, or if we do, it's going to increase quite a bit. Well, around that time, I was right. They started talking about increasing rent. I was like, okay. And we're not on a what's it called? A lease, which is my fault because it's her family, and I'm just cool with whatever. I trust people, so we don't have a lease. And they're like, all right, well, rent's gonna go up. So our rent goes up like 2,000 peds around that time. I was like, ah, shit. Well, I knew it would, but we still got to look for a place to live, maybe. We got some time. We're gonna look around. Oh, cool. We got some gold and we got ourselves a modest bismuth. Hell yeah. That bismuth is the money right there, y'all. That's the real markup we're chasing. But all right. So around March, I was like, okay, I need to probably figure out if I can sell Khorum Coast so that if her and I find a place, we got a down payment on something. I got my share of the money back out of this game. I'd sadly have to cash out my land, but at least her and I would have a place of our own, is what we were thinking. So we started looking and, you know, we had a little bit of time, kind of. We figured we're looking at places. And then this last month in beginning of May, they told me that there was like a property tax evaluation, and then they were probably thinking about having to increase their rent again. And her and I are thinking, like, you literally just increased it on us, like just a bit ago. And now you're going to be like, oh, hey, it's that everyone's saying the land's worth this with property tax. So what do we get? We got a small corudal, small Wenrex, and a very poor crude. But her and I don't have a choice at the moment. We're gonna have to pay it. We don't have any other places to go lined up. So yeah, we're looking at like another increase in rent here probably in June, which will be crazy. And it's getting to the point that it's not worth paying to live here versus just having something of our own. Like, yeah, we're just paying out the ass for this when we could just get ourselves a mortgage and be cheaper, right? So I think they're trying to like squeeze us out or something. I don't know. Or get rid of us or just charge us a lot to stay here. But it's getting weird and I don't know. So we started looking around and I don't really like the area. And her mother is actually living in Washington up there, like Washington State. And I had visited that place in July and I really liked it because she's over there by like Tacoma, Seattle kind of area, and there's like all the ports and there's like fishing and like, man, one of her relatives has a house up there somewhere too that I guess they go and they catch their own Dungeness crab, you know, like right off the lake where they live. They just get in their own boat and then they go and catch crab. Oh my God, I couldn't imagine. So her mom hears that, what's going down with her uncle and aunt, which aren't related to her mother, by the way. That was it's her father's sister that we went from, and they're divorced and all that. So she doesn't talk to really any part of this family, but she knows they're fucking. She knows they're crazy. Goblin, you're fine. Don't destroy my shit, buddy. So she's thinking, well, why don't y'all just come up here to Washington? Her husband, her new husband, I guess, his family lives what is who lives up there, and that's who they're staying with. And they've got like a couple other rental properties up there, and one of them is actually going to come vacant. And so, I mean, Marion and I, instead of like having to buy a house here where I don't really want to live in an area, we're going to move to Washington and go check that out. I kind of liked it a bit more. It's going to be colder, I guess, but I lived in Colorado I mean, I could deal with cold, right? But so that's where we're at. I guess long story short, I don't know, trying to draw out the time here, give you all something to listen to. But yeah, looked at a lot of shitty houses. Ooh, very poor Langots. That's some markup right there. That's like 200%. And then got an opportunity to maybe stay somewhere for a year and then decide if we want to live in that area. We were offered to come up there and rent, and the price that they asked is about what we're going to end up here anyway, all said and done with this other increase probably. So it's like, all right, instead of maybe putting a down payment on a house and living here near Austin, we're just going to move up to Washington and figure out how to do it. Started looking into all the logistics of getting up there, like a U-Haul and moving the animals, and it's like a 30, a 30 something hour drive. If I could, like when you Google map it and it tells you how long it would take to be there, it's like 30 hours if I could robot it and just drive straight there, right? Sorry, turning off the microphone when I have a little bit of coffee there, so y'all don't have to listen to it. But yeah, like a 30-hour drive. And I don't know if I want to do that with pets. Marina and I both have our own cars, so we'd have to take two vehicles back up there and drive a U-Haul with our stuff. I was like, oh God, that's gonna be a nightmare. Oh man. So we started looking into getting like one of those like moving storage kind of things where they'll just move it for you, like the little crate, and then drop it off at your house up there. I was like, cool. At least, at least we won't have to um, worry about, driving the U-Haul also, because I don't know who was gonna do that. Her stepfather had offered to fly from Washington and come over here and drive the U-Haul for us. And I was like, dude, no, I could never ask someone to do that. Like, I appreciate, that you're willing to, you know, but like, dude, there's nothing I could ever give to show you the amount of appreciation for that. I mean, I'd buy you dinner and make sure you had a hotel and all that, and pay you, but still, you'd be giving me like 30 hours of your life on the road, probably taken up amongst like 3 or 4 days of driving, because I got pets and all that to make it up there with, and the two cars and everything. Oh my God. So it was looking like it was going to be a little bit of a nightmare. Goblin. Now I can't even see the freaking screen, bud. Okay. Hold on, y'all. I apologize. I'm gonna have to go and see what the hell is up with these cats. They seem to think that they need like breakfast number two. They're like hobbits up in here. They need second breakfast. So give me a bit. I guess I'll just cut the video and stop the voice. All right. Sorry about that. Second breakfast has been served for the animals. So, where was I? Yeah, yeah. The potential journey like across the United States, right? So that was looking like a real daunting thing, having to move all of our stuff over there, like freaking cars. But we'd figured out, all right, we're at least not going to do the U-Haul for all of our stuff. I don't want to have to bother her stepfather, to drive it, kind of thing. Or I don't know. I thought about getting one where I could drive it and like maybe pull my car behind it. I don't know. But so we're like, all right, it may be just close to that same amount just to get one of those dang crate things dropped off. But I oh, sorry, someone's asking a question here about the land. Sorry. Having issues with Entropia Life's website giving me access to my land data. And it just doesn't show me the recent globals like it should unless I pay for it. But it's supposed to do the last 20 for free. And just somehow, since I started paying for it, now I don't get the free feature. And I'm like, no, I don't need that much data anymore. I don't need to pay per month. But if I stream for or use their client for like 20 hours, I guess, on Arcadia for the month, then I will get the stuff unlocked for free, hopefully. I'm about 2 hours short. Ah, nice. Letting Deuce know what's going on, that I'm going to make the standing video and all that. So, all right, going to get the storage container and pay for that. So that got all of that stuff moved, dealt with. Then we still have 2 cars and our animals. So, crap, And we did that move from Colorado to Texas in 1 car back when we just had the one when we moved over here like 5 years ago, and we had the dog and 1 cat. We did that, y'all. And we hit a poor Listerium claim and a very poor cave sap. But yeah, we did that drive already ourselves, and it was fun. That was like 17 hours, you know, broken up amongst. We did that in about a day and a half, but still, like 30 hours with like 3 animals in 1 car and the other car, having to drive. Sounds like a nightmare. Because when we did it from Texas, or from Colorado to Texas, I had to have a cat box in the car. So in case the cat, needed something, let it out of the carrier and it could use the dang cat box. So I had to drive with the cat box in the car for 17 hours. And the dog didn't need to be in a kennel. She's pretty good in the car. She just panicked and panted the whole time. And cat yowled. And oh, yeah, it was great. So I'm thinking, man, we got like 30 hours of that and an extra cat. This is going to be a blast. Oh man, I can't wait. Because he'll be riding in my car too. I'd be the one with the animals. Marina would be taking her own vehicle. Her car is much, much nicer than mine. My vehicle is the old, we'll take the dog to the river mobile. It's the dog's car kind of thing, if that describes a vehicle to y'all. Like she's got her hair in it, and in the back seat, and like it is what it is. It's the dog's car. So we would be using mine to transport the pets. It's fine. Uh, And then we started just thinking about maybe flying over there and just doing that and then paying a company to move our cars. So that might be where we're at with that, I'm thinking. Because by the time we paid for gas and lodging and all that to get over there, and then potential of like cars breaking down on the side of the road or getting in an accident or something with the animals in the car or something because of someone's bad driving, you never know, man. And just so many like risks and logistics and then prices and all that to do that anyway. May end up just flying over there and trying to put the animals in a cargo part of a plane. I guess that's where they ride. And oh man, I'm nervous about that. I really don't. Oh, look at that. Look at the planets here. That's beautiful. That's a good picture. We may actually make that into the mining for markup picture. Can I get my guy to turn around, mate? Turn around so that we can have that. There we go. So, you know, may fly over there. I think it's going to be a lot cheaper just to fly than it would maybe be to drive with the gas anyway at this point. Crap. And then worried about my dog in the cargo part of a plane because she gets nervous from like thunder and loud noises and all that as it is. So being in a freaking airplane like that, I'm so worried for her. And I don't know what to do. I even thought about maybe just her and I driving ourselves, her and I on a road trip over there and and doing it so that I didn't have to put her in a plane. I don't know if that would be less stressful to her to be in a car for like 4 days than to just be on a 3 or 4 hour plane trip. I don't know. So I'm pretty torn on that decision, but I don't know. At least I know how I'm gonna get Marina and the cats over there safe, and the stuff is figured out, and so is her vehicle. I'm just kind of on the fence about what to do with Lainey here. 'Cause I don't want to ever put my dog in a situation like that. She's already got like a psychosis or whatever the hell you'd call it. I don't know about loud noises and stuff, and yeah, it's not fair. She wouldn't understand what's going on. And they won't let me in the cargo area with her. I know that. I did somewhat think about how to figure out, you know, hey, it's my emotional support dog kind of thing, get like papers and fake that, but I guess they wouldn't. Has to be a real disability. So then the other idea was, all right, gouge out an eyeball and claim I need her to see. I don't know, y'all. Small choroidal extrusion, small listerium, very poor Laterian dust. But yeah, life's been interesting, I guess, overall. I've been I've been dealing with some of that going on my days off and looking at houses and stuff. And I know like the land area content and the YouTube videos and the name Khorum Coast itself hasn't been as prominent as it needs to be. And I apologize. I had a lot going on my plate, and I probably will for like the next month or so anyway, because I believe we're moving in July. So yeah, but at least, the house is pretty much packed up. Her and I got rid of all the posters and everything. There's no more flair to where we live. Our house looks all empty. All we have is like the essentials. But we don't own a lot anyway. We could have got away with like the smallest freaking U-Haul as we could have. And we could have probably moved most of our shit in just 2 cars as it was, but we also have like a bed. And I kind of want to take this couch that I have because we've had this couch for a while. Our little $20 Goodwill couch find has served us well. When we moved down here, we got the sucker for like 20 bucks at a Goodwill, and we were like, wow, hell yeah. It's clean, like barely freaking used. Like how? And I inspected it too, don't get me wrong, y'all. I was not for buying a used couch at the Texas Goodwill at first, but clean as shit, no evidence of bugs. I was like, okay, we're taking it. So yeah, don't want to lose that. And I guess I got to travel my computer up there and I guess TV and game consoles. So probably more shit than I think there will be in the end, but it is what it is. Exciting, I guess. And like I said, that means oh, hold on. We had a small Listerium and a tiny Laterian dust. But it means that I at least get to hopefully keep Khorum Coast for a little bit longer and figure that out, you know? I'm hoping that here after a bit. Oh shit, a society mate just hit a mining global on my end. Hell yeah. I appreciate that. It's pretty cool getting a little bit of activity again. I still got some players that come over here and help support, even though like I've been on a slow time. But it's picking up. I got my event now. I'm getting back in the swing of it, by the way. 1,000 peds is up for grabs at Khorum Coast this month. So in May, I did start getting a little better again, y'all. I got me an event going and it's picking up, you know. I don't have to worry about at least house hunting at the moment. So all that's gone on my days off, like running around and dealing with the realtor and the freaking bank and the mortgage and like, oh my God, all that's over with, done. Oh, crazy ass shit, by the way. Okay. So I have like $60,000 worth of student loan debt. and that like hangs over me like a cloud. And I know I'll never pay that off, ever. And that's why I can't marry Marina because like, hey, you know, what would happen to me? And then she'd have to pay for that debt. I wouldn't want that to, be her thing. Let me offer this to. Yeah, offer him to use a preamped finder there if he wants to run some crazy amps, dude. Oh, yeah, Grizzly Grizzly wants to try to use the P30. Maybe I shouldn't have offered that, but I hope he gets a tower. And we got ourselves a small Listerium. Yeah, so I'm excited, y'all. Washington will be a cool place to live, I hope. It'll be a change of pace. It's gonna be cold, you know. It's gonna be winter again. That's fine. I don't mind having a little bit of a winter. I'm not looking to driving around on maybe some black ice roads or whatever, but yeah, another small Listerium. And I guess we didn't global on this run. I was wrong. I was wrong. Oh well. We're probably still not doing too bad overall. We didn't hit any claims that were abnormal, but oh well, on that too. We're probably like 100 peds out of 120. But we got markup, and that's what we're chasing. We did get a bit of markup, actually. I think each resource type spit markup out this time, too. I believe we got Winrex, Landgots, Cave Sap, and Bismuth. I think we're just missing some sweet stuff, and we would have hit like all five of my really good markup resources at the coast. So that would have been cool. And I don't know, I like the event I got going on right now. I guess it's pretty simple. The 1,000 pet a month, like highest single loot thing at Khorum Coast. It's not bad. It's something that I don't have to really dedicate a lot of time right now. Not trying to sound lazy, but it just kind of runs itself. I don't have to record a whole bunch of data, maybe. Can focus on the other stuff. Like here, when I get done with this mining run, I'm gonna pause recording this video. I'm gonna try to upload this. And then I got other videos I got to work on uploading today, like one where I discuss why I sell my ores and end matters on Arcadia explicitly to Aklia TwoCookies because her prices are amazing, very easy and flexible to meet up with. always had good trades. And like I'm always just like, are you sure? Like you've double checked that you're okay on your end because sometimes I'm like, you might be paying me a bit much. You all right? You know, I don't want to take advantage of my buyer either because I need her to, you know, stay alive and be profitable on here, so I got someone to sell to also, right? Okay, let's see what we got on that run. We got 64 in ores. All right, ores paid itself. Ores and in matters paid a little bit. 96, ouch. But like I said, we got markup and we got ourselves a strong box, so that's cool. We got 4 peds of bismuth, markup there. Got 1.8 of langots, there's markup. 2.73 of cave sap, yep yep. 9 peds of windrex, markup on that. And Letarian actually has a little bit too. So we did all right, y'all. Not a terrible run. Anyway, I know I rambled and talked again for another video. We didn't speed past the mining, but I kind of like doing commentary sometimes, and I had some news to share with y'all, because I'm going to be owning Khorum Coast for a bit longer, hopefully. God, I'd love to be able to keep this land forever. That's kind of my overall goal, but we'll see what life does. Anyway, appreciate y'all watching. If you can, please like and subscribe. That helps grow my channel. But by all means, come on out here to the Khorum Coast, where you can earn the most. Thank you again.